Good evening, I'm Jeff Koinange, and this is Jeff Koinange live at the Villa Rosa Kempinski. And if it's Thursday, you know it's all about inspiration. Tonight, what a guest we have for you today. Any aspiring writer, playwright, thespian, you name it, you need to tune in. This is a show for you. Yes, if I could tell you his first book was written way back in 1964, I'm sure you'd be surprised. It was called Weep Not Child. That was followed by another blockbuster many of you know called The River Between. After that, A Grain of Wheat, and on and on and on. Devil on a Cross. We can go on and name his books. I tell you, this man, no doubt, one of the best of the best of the best when it comes to writing. In fact, not too long ago, he was shortlisted for the Nobel Prize in Literature. That's how far he's gone. And he's still writing. A book he published this past March, get this, has been told and translated, if you will, in more than 55 languages. That's right, I'll say that again, 55 languages. He'll talk about it in a while. Right now, he lives in a place called Irvine, California. He's in town. Guess what? For the very first time, he's being awarded an honorary doctorate of letters from KCA University. First time ever in Kenya, he's being honored. Happening this Friday. Check this out. Unbelievable. In fact, the hashtags we're going to use tonight at KCA University, just for the sake of it, and mine is at Koinange Jeff, the hashtag I graduate, as in the letter I graduate. My guest tonight is an icon at 79 years old, still looking great, still writing, still doing what he does best. It's a show about inspiration. Sit back, Professor Ngugi wa Thiong'o.
Yeah, thank you.
Good to see you, Prof.
As you,
and as always, you look fantastic.
Yeah, and you don't grow old. You're growing younger and younger. you must tell me the secret.
You do not want to know the secret, Prof. Welcome back to Kenya.
Yeah,
and congratulations on the honorary degree.
Yeah, thank you. I really feel honored, because this is the first honor doctorate in Kenya, my home ground. I've about 10
outside
honorary doctorates
outside of Kenya,
from Europe, from America, from New Zealand, Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, South Africa, and they all. I'm very happy about that. But an honor from home is like no other honor.
Is it true that then the old saying, the one that we know so well, that a prophet is never recognized in his own home?
I'm not so sure, because when I come back to Kenya for visits and so on, what really touches me is how, as I'm walking in the streets, people say hi, Thiong'o, or some will come and tell me, I read your book when I was in this class, or your book has done this for me,
Yes.
And I'm really, really very appreciative of Kenyan people.
Yeah.
I get inspiration from Kenyan people,
Yeah.
because it's the history of Kenyan people that made me.
Absolutely.
Right?
Prof, I want to come back to the Kenyan people. I will come back very shortly. But because you live in California,
Right.
Irvine, California, what's happened in America the last 24, 48 hours can only be described as shocking, phenomenal, unbelievable. Use any adjective you want.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Prof?
First of all, it happened when I was away. So maybe if I had stayed there,
Hillary will be president.
well, probably. But seriously, 3 months ago, I wrote an article in the Standard in which I analyzed the phenomenon of Donald Trump, or what I call the triumph of Trumpism. 3 months ago, in the Standard here.
Yeah.
And I analyzed the various roots of that phenomenon. And one of, like, I thought he embodied some of the images deep in the psyche of American culture and history. And one of it is racism.
Yes.
You remember he was the founder of the Bada movement.
That's right.
That tried to criminalize Kenya as the birthplace of
Obama.
Yeah, although he was born in true, his father is Kenyan. But he, Obama, was actually born in
Hawaii.
But,
yes.
But this guy had to criminalize Kenya, because there's nothing wrong in being born in Kenya, even if he has been born in Kenya, right? So racism is one of them, and it's embodied in his slogan, "Make America Great Again."
Yeah.
What does it mean, great again? It assumes there was a time when America was great. So when was it that time? Maybe the time before Obama, the black guy, becomes the president. Or even earlier, slavery. Because when you talk about America, we're talking about 300 years of free labor of African people, the ones who were taken there as enslaved Africans. So the word "Make America Great Again" was a code word for all that. But there's something else also I found very interesting about him. One was the cowboy tradition, the Western. And you remember the cowboy is the guy who goes into a town, he fights bad guys there, and he tells people there, "No, don't do anything, just hide. I'll solve it myself. I will do it for you." Right?
Yeah.
And he shoots everybody.
Yes.
And then, yeah. That element which I found very interesting. And by the way, he is also endorsed by the sister of one of John Wayne, the cowboy.
The cowboy we all know.
Yeah, that's the other tradition is the talk show, no, not talk show, but reality shows in American television. In the reality shows in American television, and he was part of that.
That's right. The Apprentice.
The whole idea of morality does not exist. The good guy is the one who can scheme against other people, even against their own friends. And there's no lie big enough for them as long as they win. And this will be normalized now as a value.
Goodness.
But the other element which is very, very interesting is also the millionaire. You know, the millionaire was really an American. Millionaireship as a moral ideal, not just as a material ideal, but as something admirable, as something good,
yeah.
as a moral arrival. It's actually an American thing. The other ones talking about millionaires, and so now it's become a wild thing. Mm-hmm. But in America. So when Donald is talking to he displays his wealth, everything, you know, and he's trying to tell people, particularly working people, I can make you a millionaire.
Yes.
He doesn't tell them directly, but he's trying to show them, if you get me, I can make you a millionaire, you know. Fourth element was his understanding of the workings of television. In American television, there's no image which lasts more than 5 seconds. Keep on changing all the time. Yes. You know, if an image lasts more than 5 seconds, people say, "Oh, it's very boring."
And they switch to something else.
Yeah. So that's why, you know, he kept on changing subject every time. He did not let any story stay more than 2 days. He counts something else, right? So he understood the workings of the television images.
But tell me something,
and other things as
Tell
well.
me something, Prof.
Yeah.
Did American, I mean, look, the polls, the media, everything was showing that Clinton was ahead. If anything, albeit by 3, 4, 5 points. They kept saying Hillary was ahead. Could they have got it so wrong?
Yeah, because these images into which he was tapping were not being analyzed by the media. I'm sorry to say I don't like bragging because there's nothing to brag about, but I believe I'm the only person because as an outsider in America, I could see this very clearly. And I was becoming so agitated that one night I wrote the article, and fortunately the Standard published the article 3 months ago.
I must look it up.
Yeah. So people may not have seen these subterranean images that he was appealing. They saw one or two, but not as a collective. Okay? You know, this guy, he even was supported by some of the most extreme cuckoos, KKK,
Ku
you know
Klux
that.
Klan.
You know,
Correct.
many things,
Yes.
you know. He couldn't do anything wrong as long as, because he was able to tap into all those images in the psyche of American culture and history.
So what does that do to Obama's legacy? Is he going to reverse it? Is he going to undo it?
I have no idea what he's going to do. What I can only assume is going to happen is actually going to energize progressive movement in America.
Yeah. You
Really?
think so?
Yes. Yeah. Because he comes, he poses as a friend of the working class. But he's not a friend of the working class.
No.
He is not going to come with any practical vision that can mean that development comes from bottom up. No.
Yeah.
So, but progressive movements in America, I think are going to work closer together.
Yeah.
Democratic to whatever, together.
And the Democrats have been devastated, haven't they? They've been annihilated. They misread this.
Yeah, that's true. But they also misled. Instead of, there was before him, the one who was really stood in a very good opposition, who brought an alternative, was a guy called
Bernie Sanders.
Yes.
Bernie
He
Sanders.
understood because he always talked about the working class and the ordinary person. But he had an alternative vision that was diametrically opposed to the billionaire vision of Trump. He was no match. Trump would have been no match for Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Because Bernie Sanders was articulating the vision of empowerment of the ordinary people in America. And Donald is also appealing to the same group, but offering solution of racism, blaming other people as their problem.
Yeah.
No. Bernie was saying our problem is actually inequalities in our society.
Yes.
The fact that power, wealth generated goes to the top 1%. Now, Donald is really representative about the 1% of American society.
He's now.
But he talks as if he's the champion of the poor and so on.
Absolutely.
It's going to show.
One more question about Donald before we go to break, Prof. And that is America. 240 years after independence, still racist?
Yes, it's because embedded, of course. Racism is how shall I say? Okay, let me first put it this way. America, there's something about America which is really great. Because America is the only society where you get Kenyan Americans, African Americans, Nigerian Americans, Asian Americans, Japanese, Russian, German, and there's no group in the world which is not actually represented in America in that way. So the kind of dynamism about it, all these cultures coming together, they bring their own dynamism, But at the same time, there's another thing in America where they want to deny the reality of the dynamism. The reality that they get that energy from all these cultures and so on.
Yeah.
And so they come with the old tradition of the Anglo Protestants, whatever tradition they have.
Anglo-Saxon, yes.
Yes, right. So you have to impose that on this other dynamism. So there's always tension between the sense of wanting to turn America into a monolithic, monolingual, English-speaking Protestant, and the dynamism of being they are Muslim Americans and they are Jewish Americans.
Yeah.
So there's that tension, yeah. But at the same time, for many Americans, or rather, racism has never ended in America. It's become part of the fabric of American society.
Oh.
The other improvements there's not all everything.
Sure,
There are some very great things about it.
Yeah.
But this other element is there. And a good example is Obama. Obama, no matter what you may think of him, agree or disagree about this and that, his policy, he was always very cool, very clear. He had to be better than any other person to be able, than any his white counterparts, to be able to do what he did.
Absolutely.
Right.
Is he going to go down as one of the best presidents in America, you think?
I think, first of all, no matter what, nobody will ever deny his place as the first African American president in the history of the country. Mm-hmm. So he broke that whole myth. Yeah. That an African American cannot be the leader of the country, and so on. At the same time, you remember from day one, they opposed him. They tried to provoke him. They tried to make him look angry. They put also barriers to whatever he tried to do, and still he achieved the health care, what they call Obamacare, which has defeated all previous attempts.
But now they might reverse it. They might reverse it.
They might reverse it, but I think American people are going to. There are some things about that Obamacare which they will not be able to reverse.
Let's also face it. Americans are not ready for a woman president. They're not ready. They're still very paternalistic.
Yeah, this is interesting because, of course, there are. Yeah, because many societies now have women presidents.
Yes.
Asian societies.
The UK.
South Korea has, UK
Germany.
now has two. Germany and so on. No, but it will come. Because remember.
In our lifetime.
Yes. Oh yes. Yeah. Remember, one of the problems. My own assessment is that Bernie Sanders articulated a vision which was diametrically opposed to that of Donald. Okay. Hillary was fought from the middle, so he allowed the left flank. He allowed Donald to co-opt the left flank. So Donald Trump, he fought from the right and also from the left, right?
What a fight! I still can't get over it.
Yeah,
it was phenomenal.
Yeah,
Nothing has ever been seen.
Yeah. But
Prof, let's take a break, come back, and talk about the reason you're here. Let's talk about the 40 books you've written, and talk about this one that's been translated into 55 languages.
Yeah, it's actually a fable.
It's a fable.
Yeah, a story,
Hold that thought, Prof. Hold that thought.
Okay.
My goodness, Professor Thiong'o, when he shows up, you have to stand up or sit up. Because this man, he wrote a book back in 1964, 52 years ago. And from then, he's been writing and writing and writing. This man knows a thing or two about just about everything, and that's why we have him on this Inspiration Thursday. What a joy, what a pleasure, what a privilege. Tell a friend to tell a friend that Professor Thiong'o is on JKL. Keep tweeting at KCA University, at Koinange Jeff, the hashtag #IGraduate. And Jeff Koinange live at the Villa Rosa Kempinski takes a break. We'll be back in a moment.